Good evening. Hope everybody is doing well. I I'll tell you what. Sorry about missing yesterday. Um, I was by the time the show came around, I was in so much pain, and I was just exhausted, just completely, just totally exhausted. Had a heck of a time yesterday. um, so yesterday didn't work out so well. But pardon me. Um, Today much better. Had progress today, and for those that don't know, I'm speaking of a product I'm testing. I'm beta testing today. Definitely success. I don't know that I'd call it a win, but we are much more on the way than what we were. So that's a good thing. And it will get better. That's the whole point and purpose of what we're doing. So, um, to help them get things tweaked out and working correctly. That's the whole point. So, anyway, like I say, I was in no shape to do the show. All I wanted to do was crawl in the shower and then crawl into bed. And oh, better today though. Today wasn't so gruesome. Like I said, things worked out a little better and much less stressful ways a day in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally. No, I mean I haven't. I hadn't really gotten. I've gotten a little upset at the thing, but not. I haven't been mad, um, because I get it. I understand what my job is. So anyway, and of course, I can't really go into much detail. I can tell you how my day went, but I can't tell you what it is I'm testing or who it is I'm testing it for. Um, Anywho, it's not. It's a pretty significant item. I'll put it that way. It's a pretty significant item. Um, Trying to think if there was anything else. I haven't been able to wrap myself in the news the last couple of days for obvious reasons. I don't have any tabs open, and the reason why is I'm going to cover both nights of the headlines tonight, and I'm just going to kind of take my time through it. It just still kind of I'm doing better, but I'm still a bit worn out. So I'm sure I'll feel even better when tomorrow comes, and I ought to be all right tomorrow night's show, back to normal, and then a couple days off, and then back at it again. So anyway, I did though. I did see that there was quite a few things being said back and forth between the United States and Russia. China chimed in here and there, it would seem, over the past couple of days. And it would certainly seem to me that there is a major escalation underway. Now, do I think this is World War III and we're going to have Red Dawn? And I don't know. I can tell you that it would appear that Putin is in no way intending on backing down or stopping. I can tell you the United States and other nations are in no way done sending weapons and doing, training and all of that stuff. I'm sure many other things too, providing intel and all kinds of stuff, I'm sure. And I think it's going to continue to get uglier. Now, at some point, that line has to be, and I won't say drawn, I'll say crossed. That line has to be crossed as in, okay, now you are materially helping them attack us. Right? And in fact, Putin, well, maybe not Putin, it might have been Lavrov, one of them had made a statement to that effect, you know. At this point, I mean, you're starting to talk about sending them F-16s, and yeah, like I said, I'd mentioned previously before, earlier on, they had said that, you know, well, we can't send them aircraft because then that means we'd be contributing to the effort, but we can send them parts. And I think another nation sent them the planes, and then the United States sent them parts, okay, and that's how they kind of loopholed around it. But they even said then the reason why we can't provide complete aircraft is now they're talking about providing complete aircraft. So, I mean, at some point, that line has to be crossed. At some point. I got a dust picture in here. No, we are not going to approve this. I didn't even see that. Hang on. Had somebody advertising dust cleaning in the group. We don't let those fly, because I don't know what's up with that, but it seems shady to me. But anyway, I do think that line is going to get crossed. I don't think it's an if, I think it's a when. I don't know, we could be looking at conflict pretty quick. There again, they could drag this stuff out and never actually go to war. I mean, look at what they've done already. That seems to be the thing now, right? I mean, look at how they did it with Vietnam, and then turn around, the wars over in the desert, you know? They were over there for 20 years in the Middle East. I don't know. But, like I say, both sides over the past couple of days have made significant steps towards further conflict. And, you know, when I say that, I'm not, you know, there's a lot of fear-mongering going on right now in a lot of different areas, and this obviously being one of them. And I refuse to feed in to that. Look, things aren't good. They're pretty damned ugly. And in some ways, the current situation is worse than the Cold War. In other ways, not so much. Do I think that we've got silo doors open and coordinates programmed? Not that they have to do all that, I'm sure, anymore. But you know what I mean. I doubt it. I doubt it. They're probably at their normal state of readiness and blue skies. I don't think we are that close to an exchange of nuclear weapons, especially here. Now, do I think that Russia might use a tactical nuclear weapon over in Ukraine? Yeah, and let me tell you what I think. I don't think that Ukraine is done pushing back. And all I can do is go by the information that's provided, and that is that Ukraine has been pushing Russia back. I have a feeling that not only Ukraine is going to use that momentum, but they're also going to use weapons and equipment supplied to them by all the nations giving them stuff. And I think they're not only going to continue to push, but I think they're going to have the ability to push harder. And I'm telling you, Putin's going to put a bare foot down. Putin's going to have his shock and awe moment. And that could very well be done with a tactical nuclear weapon. Or, as I've said before, some other type of weapon that we aren't even necessarily aware of. Nonetheless, I think it will be something that's absolutely devastating. And I think that it will function well in its shock and awe objective. I tell you, there is a lot of interesting facets to all of this, and I don't even begin to know the beginning of all the facets. I mean, you've got all these business dealings with the Bidens and Ukraine, but then you had stuff like Uranium One, which was with Russia, and uranium. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. You know, speaking of uranium, it's like a nation sell each other uranium. It's like it's mind-blowing to me how all this stuff works. Pardon me. And that's why I'm saying I'm not 110% sure that it's not all just a ploy, that it's not all just some type of a sideshow for us. There's some stuff that just doesn't make sense. Now let me have a sip of coffee. Sorry, I was taking my time and caressing it. I'm going to take a couple of vapes and start choking. Because that's what I do. Alright. I reckon we could get to the headlines. Like I said, I don't have no tabs open tonight. I figured we'd kind of just go through things as they came. I normally have a little better eye on the news throughout the day. So the last 2 days, I can't tell you a whole bunch. I know I woke up and what was the big headline from Russia? There was a big headline from Russia. And, it was about them, more or less, how do they word it? They're bringing in the reserves. I forget how they termed it. But nonetheless, that was breaking news overnight. And, I know a lot of people are hyped up over that. It's not like today we are massively more at peril than we were yesterday. Okay? There's really no change. He's just doing what he needs to do in order to keep his military functioning. That's what they do. It's not anything that should be that concerning. So, I know there are some channels that, we're at war. No, we're not at war yet. Not saying we won't go to war. Hope it's worth the clicks. Anyway, Again, I'm going to go over yesterday's headlines as well because I wasn't here yesterday, so I don't like to leave stuff out. Biden hints at plans for re-election bid. Threw up a little in my mouth, but I'll be okay. U.S. to review psychological operations, says Washington Post. Yeah, that's who we really need to be reviewing that. Russia seeking a swift end to Ukraine conflict, says Turkey. Heineken wants to replace Coca-Cola in Russia, says the media. Again, these were yesterday's headlines. Surge in German imports from Russia, says Trade Mission. Ukraine unlikely to get U.S. F-16 soon, says Politico. I was talking about that. Ukraine's Kherson region may hold vote on joining Russia. EU bread prices soaring. Are they soaring to biblical prices? U.S. general claims Ukrainian successes in air, says media. Russia to shut China gas pipeline. Peaceful solution to Ukraine crisis currently not possible, says Russia. Turkey owes no explanation to the EU, says Erdogan. Bombshell court filing suggests the FBI knew Russiagate was a fraud in January of 2017, but kept up its pressure on Trump. U.S. to release more crude from reserves. How do you like them apples? Some go to Ukraine only for PR, says the Estonian PM. What gave you that idea? Russia mulls windfall tax on energy exporters. Russia to toughen punishment for crimes during wartime. African country declares Ebola outbreak. Donbass republics reveal date of vote to join Russia. Middle Eastern state plans major Russian gas purchase. China offers friendly warning to the U.S. German nuclear plant suffers leak. European country makes Russian gas payment. NATO not at war with Russia, says a top official. Let's see. Kiev vows to use force against breakaway regions. Russia opens probe into terrorist attack on its embassy. Russian nickel giant plans bond issue, says media. Not Nickelback, Nickel Giant. Two different things. Let's see. Ukraine reveals when it will stop asking for Western weapons. Probably when we give them the nukes, then, you know. Ukraine reveals when it will stop asking for Western... Oh, I already said that. Oh, look. I posted it twice, actually. Good job. Ukraine's... Normally it warns me before I'm a dumbass, but it didn't that time. Ukraine's Zaporozhye region bids to join Russia. Russia will support Donbass referendum, says top MP. Russia-China partnership not subject to external influence, says security chief. Germany will run out of gas by spring, says the economy minister. Medvedev explains why Donbass referendums are necessary. Still on yesterday's news. Russian weapons efficient against NATO arms, says Putin. How about NATO legs? NATO reveals plan in case tensions escalate in Kosovo. Dr. Doom predicts long and ugly recession. EU nation calls for tougher Russian visa restrictions. NATO denounces Donbass referendums. There was a lot of headlines. That's why I figured we'd just get them done. U.S. reveals plan for seized Russian funds. The last 2 days have been pretty lit, to be honest. Erdogan names condition for Ukrainian settlement. Germany reacts to Donbass referendum plans. Putin at war with all of EU, says Spanish PM. Serbian leader warns of imminent global war. Macron decries Russia's cynicism. Germany responds to Turkey's plan to join Russia-led bloc. Russian lawmaker reveals mobilization plans. Okay, I get to drink coffee, damn. That should have qualified me for the Guinness Book of World Losers. Right? Oh, man. Fun times, I tell ya. Be glad when Biden delivers my F-15. Planning on flying it to Mexico, getting some avocados. I don't know. I don't even think I like avocados. But why not? Alright. Could just go to sleep in my chair and the rest of the show could be me snoring. What? Be fun? Alright. Guess not. Alright, today's news. U.S. Air Force Chief reveals troops' greatest concern. Was it whether or not the heels clash with the dress? I'm just asking. Iran hints at possible nuclear talks at UN. Russia sanctions behind EU diesel price hike, says Al Pias. Russia to begin partial mobilization, says Putin. And that was how it was worded, that everybody was like, we're at war, we're dying. No, not yet. Settle down there, Skippy. Russia reveals military losses in Ukraine. Berlin denationalized gas giant, says Reuters. And that's the kind of nonsense we need to be worried about. If they start talking about nationalizing energy here, look out. Moscow provides details on partial mobilization. Let's see. China spent record amount on Russian energy in August, says Bloomberg. Kiev threatens punishment for voting on joining Russia. Germany nationalizes gas utility to avert energy sector collapse. U.S. and allies react to Russia's partial mobilization. Iranian official pins blame for deadly unrest. China reacts to mobilization in Russia. More countries halt use of Russian payment system, says Izvestia. Moscow passed point of no return with Ukraine, says top Russian MP. A U.S. blocked Russian diplomats from the UN, says Russia. A Russian economic forecast sharply improves. Pardon me. Germany outlined UN Security Council ambition. Man sets himself on fire in protest against ex-PM's funeral. Zuckerberg has lost $71 billion this year, says Bloomberg. And by the way, when people start to immolate themselves, that's when unrest. And in fact, back the what do they call it? The Arab Rising. When that happened, or the Arab Spring, I can't remember what they called it exactly, but that started with somebody lighting themselves on fire, immolating themselves. And it happens more often than you think right here in the United States, but they don't tell you about it. But it happens. It happens quite regularly in D.C. But they don't tell you about it. You don't hear about it. Let's see. West wants to partition Russia like USSR, says Putin. Democrats' losses in Congress may affect Ukraine, says U.S. Senator. Colombia blasts irrational war on drugs. Russia foils Ukraine offensive, says MOD. Not the banned MOD, the Ministry of Defense. Let's see. U.S. trying to lure India away from Russia, says CNN. Damn. Russian gas burning live stream shut down. Now, you know that's bad, right? Somebody had a live stream of a burner, just a gas stove, just on high. And it was a live stream of them just wasting gas on their stove. And I guess it said from Russia with love. I don't know. But yeah, apparently there were some individuals that weren't too amused by this. And so Twitch, that's right, Twitch shut the live stream down. So, and they call Russia communist. Huh. Anyway, China makes Taiwan pledge. German police raid properties allegedly linked to Russian billionaire. By the way, that was a great troll. To just live stream a gas burner. Just that was a great troll. Just, I'm not looking at it from the point of view of the individual. I'm looking at it from the point of view of the nation, the government, what they're doing. We have no control over what they're doing. Absolutely no control over it. So, there's no reason why any of us should feel guilty. In fact, we're paying for it. So, let's see. Did I read that one? German police raid properties. Yeah, I think I did. Russian MPs ease naturalization rules for foreigner fighters. Not sure if that's worded right. Kremlin comments on secret clause in partial mobilization decree. Then it's not a secret. EU not at war with Russia, says senior official. NATO member eyes Israel's top weapon, says Haaretz. Or Haaretz, I don't know how that's pronounced. Haaretz. Zelensky tells Bill Clinton what U.S. could do for Kiev. Well, I mean, hey, he had a favor done from Monica. Maybe he can do you a favor, you know? Let him under the desk and find out. Dollar rallies amid. I don't know if there's going to be cigar. I bet there is cigars. I bet it's a damn good cigar, too. Anyway, dollar rallies amid global uncertainty. U.S. taking Putin's comments about nuclear weapons seriously, says the White House. Zelensky responds to Putin's nuclear warning. Russia cannot win nuclear conflict, says NATO. Russian firms must fill void left by Western businesses, says Putin. A Bank of Russia proposes financial support for reservists. Massive rally in Brussels over cost of living. Detentions at unauthorized anti-mobilization protests in Russia. Russia releases captured Western mercenary fighters, says Reuters. Russia to increase military hardware production. Biden eyes limiting veto power in UN Security Council. Let's see. Switzerland considers rare step on conscription. Kiev suggests how West should respond to Putin. NATO deploys reserves amid Balkan tension. Baltic states rule out asylum for Russian draft dodgers. U.S. teetering on brink of being a party to Ukraine conflict, says Lavrov. A Chinese outlet names biggest loser in Ukraine conflict. Finland to bar entry to all Russian tourists. And lastly, Lavrov names main culprit for global crisis. Satan? I don't know. Hillary. All her fault. I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't be sitting there living in fear, and at the same time, I wouldn't be complacent. Keep getting ready. Thank the Father for the extra time to get more prepared. I know, I know that some people get burnt out. Just keep on keeping on. It's all we can do. Be thankful that we have more time to do more, to put more back, to learn more. I do think the day is coming, and I do think it's coming upon us, our generation. But I think there's a lot of undue hype at the moment. I'll word it that way. I do see things escalating to a serious point. But I don't think it's going to be just a blink of an eye, all-out conflict. I don't think it's going to happen like that. I think it'll start out over there. I mean, it already has, but I mean, as far as NATO involvement, I think we'll start out over there. And yeah, I absolutely do believe that it would be brought to our homeland in one form or another. So, no doubt in my mind of that. 2 world wars, and, the only thing that we really got out of it as far as our land would be Pearl Harbor. Right? I'm not counting 9/11 because that wasn't from a world war. That wasn't from a war. From a war, as far as I know, Pearl Harbor was really about the biggest thing. I don't see them just allowing that to remain that way. So, anyway, I am going to hop off here and take the early night opportunity to relax and probably still head to bed a little early. And tomorrow starts another day. So, fun times. Anyway, I will talk to you all tomorrow, God willing. I hope you all have a good night. I appreciate your coming. Hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.